It happens over time because we don't know maybe how to confront it. We don't like conflict. We want time to pass it. So how do we get past it? Respond in a timely manner, right? So if we respond in a timely manner, maybe some of these unresolved and unmet expectations aren't there anymore. The only thing that gets better over time without addressing it, there's not much, right? Maybe wine. My wife. That's really it. So if there's something out there, you need to figure out what that is and start addressing it. There's a friend of mine that I've had the opportunity to know over time, and he calls it the Lazarus principle when we're talking about having conflict. He's a great guy, somebody I can go to and talk to, and he says, man, this is the Lazarus principle. And he says, this is what the Lazarus principle is Lazarus was dying. His sisters reached out to Jesus like, hey, come see him. Jesus kind of took his time, right? Now all of a sudden, he's there, and they're like, you're late. He's dead. He's dead. He's gone. And he gets over there 4 days later. There's the tomb, and he says, remove the stone. Everybody's like, are you crazy? It's been 4 days. This guy's been in the tomb for 4 days. It is not going to smell very good. It's going to stink. So what I want to tell you is don't allow that time to have things addressed. Have it be immediate. Have it be in person. If not in person, then try to do it through an email. But try to address it if you can't address it right then and say, hey, you know what? I have an offense with you. Believe me, God was really working on me this week, and I sent a few emails out because I haven't had a chance to talk to them in person. But I've been able to do that. Be angry and yet do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. So whether it be your marriage, that you have something unresolved and you're letting it eat you up because your husband doesn't open the door for you all the time. Or your husband had something smart to say about how well somebody can do with their cooking that could no way compare to you. Don't allow those unresolved or unmerited issues hit you. Third point, be intentional with your speech. Know what you're doing, okay? Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. In James 3, it says our tongue is like a rudder that can take the direction of a ship anyway. The rudder, real small. That's our tongue, okay? A spark can start a forest fire. We have power in what we speak. Be intentional with what you want to say. You know, the one thing that I remember when Sarah and I, right before we were dating, I don't even think we were engaged yet. We were she lived in Florida. I was up here in Tennessee at school. And we were doing this devotional together. It was like Superman and Wonder Woman devotional. I was trying to Google. I couldn't find it. With all these Marvel comic things, like I keep seeing other items than what I was looking for. But the one thing that I remembered about the book is expect nothing, but appreciate everything. Expect nothing, but appreciate everything. So how do we do that? So husband and wives, it's not, baby, you weren't expecting me to do that, right? Just appreciate it when I do those dishes, when I do take the trash out. No. We can talk about marriage at a sermon or a teaching on marriage at another time. But what I do want the husbands to realize is we're to love our wives as Christ loved the church. Okay? So we should be able to do those things. And then wives, you appreciate what's done there. Or in a relationship with a friend, with a coworker, the biggest thing, what does Satan want to do? What's his agenda? Destruction, right? His strategy is division, and his tactic is offense, okay? We've had a great opportunity to be with many different churches. Sarah and I have been. She grew up in a church. Her father's a pastor. Been at 3 or 4 different churches just because of different movement that we've been at. And the biggest thing that Satan wants to see is not just a relationship with a husband and wife get divided and create offense, but also be able to see a church get divided and cause destruction. Be intentional with your speech. Understand what you want to say. Understand that your words can make a positive impact or a negative impact in anything that you do. Last point I want to make. Have an attitude of forgiveness. Attitude of forgiveness. When I was talking about this and thinking about it, when you think of forgiveness, I mean, have that attitude of forgiveness. Understand that you have to be able to lay it down. You have to be able to get with that conflict and meet that conflict and speak to that person, but also you need to have an attitude of forgiveness that maybe somebody's hurt you. When you think of offenses, I think of, man, I don't get offended. But I do. I think I saw John post something somewhere saying something about a pastor having a thick skin and a soft heart. And that's true. But when you think of the different attacks that go upon our leadership here at church, the leadership in a home, there's things that are out there. And the biggest thing for an offense that gets in the way is exactly what John spoke about a few weeks ago, is pride. You don't want to be that person that takes a step to the side and allows somebody to be there because you don't want your pride to get in the way, or you allow your pride to get in the way of what God has. Okay? You can't take that step. You get offended because you're like, man, I can't believe that person would say that about me. Is it true? Take a step back. Is it true? Say, you know what? I'm going to take that. I'm going to run with it. But don't allow that pride to get in the way of that offense that you're allowing to be there. And then you have to allow that forgiveness. In Colossians, it says, bearing with one another and forgiving each other, whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as the Lord forgave you, so you should you. You know, one of my songs I kind of hold on to was Oceans that we sang last. Because it's kind of like my tribute for the year, it seems like, is, Lord, take me deeper, take me deeper, take me deeper. We all say we love Christ. We all say we're followers of Christ. But how many times do we allow the enemy, the world, others to lead us away from what God has for us. You know, Jesus died on the cross for each and every one of us. His love is overwhelming. But we allow relationships, we allow unresolved, unmet expectations to get in the way of what Christ has for us. So, hey, baby, you know that what you said about nobody can do those sweet potatoes any better than you? Any better than your mom? That kind of hurt, because I worked really hard on this Thanksgiving dinner, and I just wanted you to know that I love you so much, but I want you to know that it did hurt me with what you said. So what did she do? She addressed it. She drops it. It's done. It's over. Nothing's going to continue to eat away at her, and she's not going to allow it to eat away at her. Now it's history. Okay? Hey, baby, you know, that job idea that I had, I was very serious about it. You know, what you said to me that it was a dumb idea really, really hurt, because my heart and my passion is this over here. And I feel like you and I could work together. You could help me get to where that is. But I just want you to know that that hurt. All right, baby. I'm sorry that I said it was a dumb idea. Forgive me. It's dropped. Now this fence that's been put up is now slowly being taken away. You know, baby, maybe I said something I shouldn't have said about the other night when we were watching a movie, and I told you, hey, is that ice cream really necessary? You know, you may have taken offense to it. I did take offense to it. But I want you to know the reason is because, you know, I've been playing athletics all my life, and I've always stayed in shape, and I realized that over this last year that I've gained some weight, and I'm just trying to not gain that weight anymore. And I thought when you brought out that ice cream, I really wanted that ice cream too, so I just wanted to just let it be known. So I'm sorry if that offended you. I didn't mean to offend you, because that was more for me. Dropped. Baby, I knew you wanted to save money, and I was being honest. These were all on sale, but I understand. So you know what I'm going to do is anything over a certain amount that is going to be spent this paycheck or this week, let's set a certain amount. Let's say, hey, if it's any more than $100, let's talk about it. Okay? Because so I just want to let you know that I'm sorry for what you assumed I was doing, and I may have gone a little overboard, so I apologize. So it's down. You know, when you don't open the door for me anymore, how that was just something I really enjoyed. To know that what my father brought me up doing, that you did all the time, and that's one of the things that really won me over. I never told you because I just said, wow, he already knows what I want. Well, I just want you to know that that hurt me when you stopped doing that, because I felt that you didn't love me as much as you did. I felt that in my heart. I wanted you to know that, and if we can get past it, that's great. I'll open the door for you all the time. That's fine. Hey, I apologize for not doing that and allowing everyday routines to get in the way. You know how special birthdays are, baby? Well, my mom and dad, they really treated me like a princess all the time. And I felt just unloved because I felt like a card wasn't good enough when I woke up for my birthday. I'm sorry. But I do understand what we're trying to do. And I know you love me. So I want you to know that I want to ask you to forgive me for having that heart of discontent over that birthday. You know, Christ loves us so much. And the fence that we build up over time, whether through marriage, a relationship with a friend, a coworker, a parent to child relationship, we allow these unresolved and unmet expectations hit us, and we don't follow up with them. We don't address it. We don't take care of it. So over time, we allow that fence to be built up, and that's exactly what the enemy wants, because the enemy says, my agenda is destruction. My strategy